Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Friday. I hope you all are doing good. And welcome to the Saran wrap scandal of 2025. Now, here on the 2A Edu channel, we have great value plastic wrap. Why? Well, come on. I'm in the gun and 2A community. Of course, I don't have money for actual Saran wrap, but here we are. And this story could get a little bit sticky and it could get a little bit clingy before it's over. But it does involve a 2A supporting representative who literally got his car saran wrapped during session yesterday. This is kind of crazy, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But before we do, I want to thank all of you for the many ways you help support the channel. Thank you to all my YouTube channel members, who I see a bunch of you in the chat right now. You guys get the recognition with a little insignia by your name, as well as unique emojis, which I've seen some of those already, as well as some bonus content that I throw up for you all. So make sure from time to time you check out the community post for some members only stuff. Also, thanks to all of you who leave super chats. Look, you guys are the sponsors. I'm not going to do any ad reads tonight. Just thank all of you for supporting. And look, I can only afford great value plastic wrap, so I'm definitely not on state rep status. Also, thanks to all my Patreon supporters, as well as my local supporters. Now, Locals is a different site, censorship-free, where we do a weekly live stream there, and their sister site that rhymes with Fumble, where we touch guns live and do all kinds of cool stuff that we just can't do here on YouTube. And a lot of you noticed that when we did that review stream on Monday, and we could only do half of it here on YouTube, but the rest of it we did over on Rumble, and I actually switched it over to another item, so I'll show you guys that tomorrow night when we're doing that other live stream, so make sure you join there as well. And Kurt24 is reminding all of us here that you also get milestone chats, which is like a free super chat. And thank you, Kurt. You've been a member for 33 months. I really appreciate it, man. And thank you to all of you who have been supporting for a long time. But yeah, that's another bonus, as Kurt showed right there. And then if we do hit our super chat goal, which is only 5 total for the whole chat of any color, then we'll do some viewer Q&A as well. So let me back up. First of all, this is brought to you by not the media. According to the Michigan Senate and House of Representatives, they won't give me media credentials. And you know what? I'm actually glad they didn't, because I have access to the real news, and I actually put out way more real news than like any of the actual fake news does. So it's all good. And if you want to see that video, check it out. I just posted it yesterday. It's actually a really cool video. I'm explaining how I got denied media credentials, but then I went to the state of the state address anyways and got like behind the scenes access, in many ways better than the media got. So the whole thing kind of got flipped around, and yeah, but I just wanted to let you know I am not a media, not whatsoever. But I am going to talk about the Saran wrap incident that happened in the Michigan Capitol yesterday. So this started off by me traveling a couple hours across the state to the very little corner of Michigan over here, only about 7 miles away from Indiana, a place called Coldwater, Michigan, and it is in Branch County. So the Branch County Republicans, they actually do this really cool thing. So this is like they have like their executive committee. And usually that's like kind of a boring thing, quite frankly. I've been to some of these before. Look, guys, I don't even like political parties. But of course, with me being an advocate of the Second Amendment, you tend to find yourself hanging out with a lot more Republicans than Democrats because, well, there's like no pro-Second Amendment Democrats, at least not on the state level, because every Democrat in Michigan votes for gun control every single time, and it just is what it is. So, look, I'm friends with a lot of Republicans, even though myself, I'm not media, and I'm not a political party guy, actually. But I'm friends with lots of libertarians, too, but I don't like that party either. So, you guys know how I roll by now. So I was hanging out with the Republicans out there, and my friend Nicole, she's actually like a staffer, I guess would be her name. She works for Representative Jennifer Wirtz in Lansing. So let's back up here, and I'll tell you guys how I met and how I found out about all this stuff. So I went there on opening day. That's the first day of the legislative session, and I was walking around with my friend Jane Locke. And we were going around from office to office because they kind of have like office warming parties for the new reps that have just been elected, right? So we made our way to Representative Angela Regas' office, who we're both good friends with. And we were talking to her. She's like, hey, I'm going to go down here. Here, come down to Jennifer Wirt's office with us. And I'm like, you know what? I've been kind of wanting to meet this lady because she took over for Representative Andrew Fink, who was a very pro-Second Amendment rep, ended up running for the Michigan Supreme Court, whereas the Republicans pretty much took the whole ballot by a landslide. The two leftists won those 2 Supreme Court seats, making our Supreme Court Michigan go even further left. Well, he had to withdraw from the House. He didn't run, in other words. So that opened up a seat. It's called an open seat. And Jennifer Wirtz ran. And I'm like, well, hey, who's the new girl? You got to check them out and see if they're pro-Second Amendment. So I go in there, and like literally the first day of session, her first day in office, I go in there, I meet her. She's like the host of the party, if you will. So everyone wants to talk to her. I only talked to her for a couple minutes that day. And then I ended up talking to a lady named Nicole. Now, that's one of her staffers. She works in her office, right? Turns out Nicole's really cool, like super pro-Second Amendment, super conservative. If you guys are ever up in Lansing, go to their office and say hi to her, especially if Jennifer Wirtz is your rep, right? So I'm like, you know what? I want to talk to this representative a little more when she has time. So I went back to Lansing. 45 minutes later, we're still talking about the Second Amendment. And if you want to see a video with me and Representative Jennifer Wirtz, watch that video I posted yesterday. We had a really nice conversation. So one thing leads to another. We're kind of talking back and forth. And Nicole says, hey, do you want to come out to Branch County to speak at our Republican meeting? And it was actually fun, dude. Like they all brought like a dish to pass, and they had like a Mexican theme. There was like 25 different types of Mexican food. You could just put whatever you wanted on your plate. For like a political party thing, it was actually, pretty cool, right? So shout out to anyone who was there yesterday. It was good to meet all of you. Well, she had to pick the speaker for the month. They have a different speaker come in. She wanted somebody to come and talk about the Second Amendment. So that's why I was in Branch County in the city of Coldwater. So I did like a speech or whatever, kind of like a live stream, really, but it was like live instead of live on camera like this. Well, we're getting ready for it. And she kind of like shows me her phone, and Nicole. So she's like, did you hear about this? Did you see this? And there was like this picture. That's Matt Maddock's car. Somebody saran wrapped it. And I'm like, whoa. Now at that time it was just developing. She didn't know. I didn't know. I was getting ready to speak. It's like, well, is this like a friend or a foe? Because I'm like, when I was younger, like in high school or something like that, which is like way back in the last century, I'm like, that's something me and my friends would have done to another friend. Okay. Well, then on my way back, so I spoke. It was a good time. I took off, had to drive 2 hours back. So I kind of got out of there when I was done speaking. And I'm like, I'm going to call some people. So since I'm not media, I have tons of inside sources in Lansing. So I talked to a couple of my insiders, right? And I'm like, and right away I found out, I'm like, whoa. Another representative Julie Brixie, was the one that Saran wrapped pro-Second Amendment, 2A supporting rep, Matt Maddock. Now, I've talked about Matt Maddock before, and I really like him. He's like awesome for the Second Amendment. He's actually like the vice chair or co-chair. I forget the exact, but he's like second in command of the whole appropriations committee. This is a guy that's very instrumental, and hopefully, and he's pledging. Look, he said he's going to do it. He's going to fight like hell to strip the funding out or die trying. So this is a guy you all need to get behind. Can defund like that tip hotline in Michigan that they've set up where children can rat out parents for how they're storing firearms from within the home. I think there's a way they can revoke the funds for the Michigan Capitol ban because it's not a law, it's a rule. So this is a guy that I've known for a while and literally have been in his office across the table, working with him and his staff. And I did a bunch of behind the scenes. I line itemed everything for them just to make their job easier. It was like, here's the things that can be defunded. Here's how they originated them. Now, see what you can do. And he had requested that I do that. So that's pretty cool. When a rep comes to you and says, hey, can you help me out here? We need to find out what we can do to defund. That's like, yeah, that's hard to find. So I just wanted to set the stage of who Matt Maddock is. Very conservative voting record. He lives in Milford, Michigan, for example. So he might be some of your state rep, for example. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, what happened here? And I'm going to share my screen and show you how this all developed. So literally, they're in session, it's called, and you guys have seen me do some live streams in the middle of the night of the Michigan House of Representatives sessions. So I'm going to show you how this all started and give you some behind the scenes. I see I had a couple super chats come in. Thanks, guys. I'm going to read those in just a second here. So let's pull up. Now, this took me time to find this, but I want to show you how all this originates, because even though I'm not media, we try to be thorough here. Okay, so here's the Michigan House session from yesterday. This lasted 4 hours and 23 minutes. Now, a member of the House, so in other words, a representative, can ask the speaker or the speaker pro tem. In this case, it was the clerk filling the role of the speaker. For those of you that have been around a while and see how the Michigan House of Representatives operates, sometimes it's the clerk, who's not a legislator at all, that presides over the House, holds the gavel, and recognizes people. But either way, the speaker pro tem is now Rochelle Smith. She's awesome as well on the Second Amendment. I've known her for a long time too. But sometimes she's in the back room or they're in a caucus, different things are going on. And in this case, the clerk does have the gavel at the moment. Well, a representative has to seek recognition before they can speak. And they have to state why. So what there was a bunch of reps doing, I'm just giving you some quick behind the scenes, and then we're going to show you how this whole Saran wrap thing got going. She says she'd like to seek recognition for purposes of an introduction. Well, like 10 reps had already done that up to this point, because they'll have like elementary school students. They'll have members of a certain church. Just certain people will come to see the rep, right? From their district into Lansing. They'll let them know they're coming. They invite them to come and watch, and they'll just recognize them. I've actually been recognized a couple times, not me directly, but when I was at like the Women for Gun Rights rally, they recognized all of us. One time, my favorite state rep, Jamie Thompson, recognized my daughter, and my wife and I were both there. So I'm familiar with it, and I think some of you know what I'm talking about. So this representative, her name is Julie Brixie. This is a real beauty. And when we say that in a different kind of way, let me know if you guys want to see a picture of her. Well, we'll show you a video first, and then we'll go over some pictures, because, whew, you know, sometimes they say, these are not good-looking people, in my opinion. Well, I need to drink some coffee. So she's going to seek recognition for purposes of introduction. This is during the House session. This is an official public meeting. Do you remember all the people that literally got thrown in the gulag from J6 because they disrupted a public meeting? Like, yeah. Like so-called Trump supporters and whatnot have literally been like on bread and water in a hole for like years over like disrupting a public meeting. So keep that in mind. All right. I should be just a couple seconds away, and this should pop right up here, and you'll see what happened.
For the purposes of introduction, the chair recognizes Representative Brixie.
For an introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Colleagues, can I have your attention? Colleagues.
Ooh.
I just came in from the parking ramp, and there's a black BMW with the license plate number MMADD. Your hood is open, your lights are on, and your engine is running. Thank you.
Now, wait a minute now. That was not an introduction, like, at all. So your hood's up, your engine's running, and your lights are on. Now, look, I've been watching this a long time, guys. I've never seen this in my whole life. Like, a representative, a sitting representative, they're gavelled in. They've already taken attendance. This is like, you know, officially in business, right? I have never seen a representative come up to the mic to say anything like this at all. So this is a highly bizarre. Well, then a little bit later, we see reports here where, let me share this screen. So she's trying to draw attention clearly. Now, that's a custom license plate. MMADD. Now, Maddock's name is spelled Mattmaddock. Now, his wife is Michonne, also starts with an M. So him and his wife's initials are both M. Maddock. So MMADD, that could be either of their initials, right? I just want to throw that out there. So let me share this and show you how this happened here. Now, yeah, this is childish games, but it actually gets pretty thick and it gets kind of weird. And this is actually sinister. I know some of you are like, yeah, whatever, it's just a prank. But no, this actually starts to get pretty weird. Or else I would not be showing this tonight. Now I'm going to come over to, let me read this article first. This will work. I have a couple things. So this is kind of a visual thing. All right. This is coming from the Detroit News. Michigan lawmaker plastic wraps colleague's car as a prank. Now, I knew about all of this beforehand because I was hanging out with somebody who works in Lansing, and obviously the buzz was starting to go around and stuff was going around on social media, but I didn't know it. I'm like, what the heck is this? All right, well, Michigan lawmaker. Lansing, a Lansing area Democratic lawmaker on Thursday was caught on security camera wrapping plastic wrap around her Republican colleague's vehicle as a prank. Now, this is Beth LeBlanc. In my opinion, this is a leftist-leaning journalist. That's my opinion of her, just by other stuff she's written. So they're gonna classify it as a prank, which I guess, but it's kind of weird too. Just keep that in mind. State Rep Julie Brixie, Democrat, Meridian Township, is shown in an image of security camera footage released by House Republicans wrapping the black BMW of State Rep Matt Maddock, a Milford Republican who was parked in 2 parking spaces. Here's a quote. My good colleague from the 51st District parked in 2 spots, including mine. Now, this is the State Rep private portion of the parking structure. I've actually been in this area because my representative, Jamie Thompson, gave me a ride home from the state. So I actually do have a little bit of intimate knowledge with this area. And there's a section where the reps park in a certain area because they work there every day. There's other spots saved for different staff. And then it's a huge parking structure and there's the general public area. So they're like in their assigned parking spots. Just to give you a little background information here. Including in mind to make sure no one hit his fancy car, Brixie said, describing both his parking job and her plastic wrap of the car as pranks. I Saran wrapped it to give it an extra layer of protection. All right. When asked whether he parked in Brixie's spot as a prank, Maddock said, I parked in an empty spot. I didn't realize it'd turn into the highlight of Brixie's year. So there's a picture of her, what's reported as being a staffer, wrapping the car. On social media, Maddock said, Brixie keeps trying to get my attention, and I keep telling her I'm married. Whoa. Wow. I mean, House Republicans said Maddock, who usually drives a large truck, recently was given 2 parking spots near a turnaround in the House garage. But on Thursday, his vehicle appeared to be hanging into one of the parking spots usually assigned to Brixie, which is adjacent to his 2 spots, said Gideon D'Alessandro, a spokesman for House Speaker Matt Hall. Brixie drew attention to the situation about an hour into session Thursday, that's what you just saw, when she announced that there was a black BMW in the House parking ramp with its hood open, lights on, and engine running. She identified the vehicle by reading off Maddock's vanity plate. Images of the plastic wrapped vehicle were posted by Michigan Information and Research Service. Michonne Maddock, see what I'm talking about? Same initials. The representative's wife said on social media that the vehicle was hers. So for whatever reason, he was driving his wife's car that day. Rep Brixie made a false statement, otherwise known as a lie, in the presence of the entire Michigan House after wrapping my car in plastic wrap like a 13-year-old girl, Michonne Maddock wrote. Democrats aren't just soft on crime like Brixie, they are crime. Now, these were the initial pictures that I had seen last night. So this is this Maggie George. I'm guessing she must have been some insider to be turned on to this so quick, or she was walking around. I don't know. But this was the first one that got popped out, like that kind of broke the news, the pictures of it. It says someone appears to have saran wrapped Rep. Maddock's car about an hour ago. Rep. Brixie was acknowledged by the speaker pro tem to make an announcement. A car with a license plate, MMADD, had its hood open and engine running in the parking lot. Well, that's what she said in the announcement, but it does not appear that the hood was actually open. So, yeah. Yeah, she does have a sinister look in her eye, too, I would note. Now we're going to go over and take a look at... Now, this is what a Democrat legislator is doing. Just keep this in mind. These are people that she was voting for gun control in the middle of the night like all of them. This is a very anti-Second Amendment rep that's doing this. Now we're going to go over to X. By the way, make sure you guys are following 2A EDU on X. Now this came out again late last night. Rep. Maddock says, turns out there's a video of Julie Brixie and her staff are doing this. It will be released by the police tomorrow. Then he comes back. When Julie Brixie said she wanted to wrap me in plastic because of how obviously frustrated she is, this isn't what I had in mind. So apparently, this is where it starts to get a little bit spicy. All right. Apparently, there may have been some back and forth. This may have been a beef. I mean, I'm just going by what I'm reading here. And that's why I titled the stream 2A Rep versus Trad Life Pick Me Girl Rep. I mean, clearly this woman doesn't look like a feminist at all. In fact, it looks like she's trying to live her so-called best life in the kitchen with a roll of saran wrap to keep all of the leftovers fresh, right? I mean, in my opinion, that's what she's trying to do. What do you guys think? Is this a feminist or is this someone trying to... Is she trying to posture? She could be the next trad wife. I don't know. And then he goes on and says the mating rituals of the modern left-wing woman are a mystery to me, and apparently most men. Whoa. He replies again and says, she keeps trying to get my attention, and I keep telling her I'm married. I think this is hilarious. He's talking about this other tweet here, and then we're going to get right back to the saran wrap. By the way, those real IDs, I don't have one, and I'm not going to get one. Just letting you guys know that. Apparently, he has one. That's on him, but it looks like good luck actually getting it in Michigan, by the way. Jocelyn Benson has mandated appointments that are months out. Can't walk in, and don't forget your mask. So he comes in 10 hours ago. He comes back and says that Julie Brixie. Julie Brixie's rap career is a lot like ODB, defined by their insanity and tragically cut short by mental illness. Wow. Wow. Now, this is crazy. I just want to show you guys some of this stuff that goes on in Lansing, how crazy these leftists are. Now look at this. This is another post he threw up in the interim. Everyone knows phonics are the best way to teach kids. Yesterday, after Klinger at Julie Brixie wrapped my car in cling wrap, we voted phonics into our curriculum. Every Michigan Dem voted no. The Dems are literally trying to vote phonics out of our schools. All right, here's the video. Let's watch the video. So this is 7 hours ago. Now the video is public. There she is wearing that man suit. Wow, man suit. I thought she was trying to live the trad life. Trad life, pick me up, girl. That's what I'm calling her tonight. Wow. You ever hear these crazy women nowadays? They're like, I'm living my best life. Here, this is what it looks like. Maybe she's practicing so she can wrap her man a sandwich. Some nice leftovers. Now, my wife's a great cook. Very lucky when it comes to that. Yeah, there she is. So this is a state representative rapping. I'm wondering, see that chickie poo with the phone over there to the right? I'm wondering if that's that Maggie. I don't know. See, I don't really know these Democrats too much. But I'm wondering if that's the one that instantly had photos to post. Or maybe her and Maggie are friends. That was that lady on Twitter that had the first pictures. Look at this. Michigan Representative Julie Brixie at your service here. Wow. Did she have great value? Well, hold on, Jane. What's happening, Jane? I mean, did you hear some of those tweets that Maddock left? It sounds like it's getting a little spicy. Guess her pronouns. Yeah, let's play the guess her pronouns game. Who wants to guess Representative Brixie's pronouns? She's going to probably come after me because I said she, right? Wow, look at this. This is going on during House session, by the way. Like they're in session. The rest of them are on the floor, and she just, she just keeps going round and round. No, I'm surprised she's a Democrat. We'll look at some pictures of her in a second. But this representative, I mean, I don't know, man. There's just something about a traditional woman that's in the kitchen making food and, wrapping up, like I said, the leftovers with Saran wrap. Kind of reminds me of more of a conservative. Yeah. Maybe she's a Democrat, though. Okay. I don't know. She's wearing a man suit. What do you guys think? Is this a pick-me-up girl? Or is this a potential trad life? I'm having a hard time, so I need the help from the chat. And shout out to all of the replay crew. If you guys are watching later, what's her pronouns? Jeez, actually, I'm supposed to be 2A EDU, but I'm getting more dumbfounded the longer I watch this. What's her pronouns? And yeah, is this a girl living a trad life or is she living her best life? Pick me up, girl, or getting practice with the Saran wrap for some nice leftovers. What do you think? He comes back with the video here. Oh, wow. That's crazy looking. The left can't meme. He says, this is Matt Maddock continuing here. I've had someone park in my spot 5 to 7 times the last 7 years. You just realize it's a mistake and drive up some floors and park where it's empty. You don't vandalize someone's car. Every legislator has said someone park in their spot. Well, yeah. Wow. Let's see if he's had anything else to this. Oh, that is kind of weird. And then it looks like he's got some other stuff going on the feed. And make sure you guys are checking out the 2A EDU feed as well. All right, let's see what the chat says. I'm trying to learn some pronouns here. Now, hold on a minute. Really? So there is a thing with this, Jane saying. Brad Hall as well. He brought up her bondage fetish. Are you serious? I told you guys this is weird. This is weird. Oh, wait. Dale says Ugg and Lee. All right. All right. What's up, Robert Chase? How you doing, man? Interesting. I'm going to read a couple of these super chats. Then we can look at some pictures of the representative Brixie. Marco Polo, a channel member and a super chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. He says cigar, fruit punch, and G3C night. Wow, man. That sounds like a good time, actually. Thank you for the support, Marco. I appreciate it. D. Pesbo, channel member and a super chat. He says the ghost of Susan Wiki Wiki. Ooh, wait a minute. Did someone say the ghost of Susan Wiki Wiki? Says put down the Saran wrap. Well, I mean, look, I want to show you guys this. I know this isn't like directly 2A related, but the one that got his car Saran wrapped is a very pro Second Amendment rep. I know him well. And yeah, man, the more I kept on researching this, the more spicy it started getting. So I'm like, ooh, maybe you guys will want to see how some of these legislators are acting right now. Well, hold on. For anyone that's saying there's nothing wrong with it, but dang old Matt says left can't wrap either. Everyone knows you wrap over the car, not around it. Well, here's the thing. Now, somebody said there's nothing wrong with a little bit of that, but hold on a minute. Let me see here. Let's pick out our favorite picture. Let's check this out. Where is my... Here we go. All right. So... allegedly, it appears, okay, by reading through the X post, this one's been wanting to, we're not sure exactly what she wants, but, I mean, what are the pronouns? Wow, I don't even know. I mean, I keep saying, like, her and she, because, I mean, like, whatever. Huh. Michigan House Democrat, meet Rep Brixie. I'd rather not. Would any of you like to meet? I'd rather not meet. Wow. Oh, geez. Where do these people even come from? Wow. Ooh. Wait a minute. The governor of Michigan, she'd like to offer you communion. She's holding up a Julie Brixie flyer, so they're friends. Wow. It's funny, the Saran wrapped car is popping up under Julie Brixie pictures. I wonder, because not a lot of you are really telling me her pronouns. Wait a minute, it's Pat. Who's Pat? Is that her name? Oh, trust me, it would be pressing charges. You are right, Robert. That's the thing. Trust me, they would be pressing charges. But keep in mind, she literally disrupted a public meeting. She totally did all this as a hoax or whatever. You could call it a prank, but on the House floor, while they were in session, is when she came in and said, there's a car with this license plate running with the hood up. Kind of weird. All right, hold on. It's Pat. Alien hybrid. Ooh, that's a holster, right? Too Tall's Ale. Jane's pulling some double duty, listening and watching this live stream while trying to find a dress for my granddaughter's wedding. Well, that's cool. Hopefully you have a good time. I mean, DB Cooper, do you want to meet? Would you like to meet? Well, that one thing we clicked on, it said meet Representative Brixie. I'd rather not meet. Oh, Pat from SNL. Okay. I've never really watched that too much, so I don't really watch a lot of TV at all. So you guys will always get me on that. Let's see if we can figure out. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to find a picture where she looks pretty, okay? How long do you guys have? Where's the picture where she is good looking? I mean, look, these are not nice people, trust me. When I say good looking, I'm not just talking her face or her hair or her man suit. I'm talking when I say these people are not good looking, I'm talking on the inside. These people, including her, have completely decimated the Second Amendment. Completely. Endorsed by Michigan League of Conservation Voters. Oh, that means they're anti-hunting, anti-water, anti-gun. As soon as I hear something like that. Look, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and give you guys some fair and balanced reporting. So I'm trying to find a picture where she looks good. I'm really trying. Wait, I just found it. She actually doesn't look half bad here. I mean, well, you know, that's probably the one where, you know what I'm saying. This part of her face looks a little better in this picture. This might be, I'm trying to be nice. And then someone will come in, 2-8 Edu, you were too mean. I'm like, no. We're not mean here. I'm trying to find a picture where she, very flattering picture of her, where she looks very well put together. Where she looks very feminine. I'm trying to do that to be fair and balanced and report both sides. I'm still trying to do that. This picture is pretty good, though. Let's see if we can find any good-looking pictures of her. Wait a minute. Women's suffrage. Is she wanting to repeal the 19th Amendment? Well, hold on a minute. Maybe me and her can be friends. Is she part of the repeal the 19th Brigade? Hold on a minute. What's this? Julie Brixie on Women's Suffrage Centennial. Well, hold on a minute. Do we want the suffragette? Well, maybe they're going to say no. Well, wait a minute. I might have. You guys are going to see me doing videos with her soon. If she's part of the... Do you guys think she's part of the repeal the 19th? Or... That's interesting. I'll have to look into that a little further. Wait, what's this? No, there's no way. Oh, I'm trying to give this woman the benefit of the doubt. I want to like her. I do. I want to like her. Endorsed by the governor of Michigan. You literally can't even make this up. You guys see what I'm looking at, right? Now someone's going to come in. 2-8 Edu, you're being too nice. No, I'm trying to give her a benefit. D. Pesbo, I'm trying to. I say her. I'm sure right now she's at home starting a new starter culture for sourdough bread. Getting ready to. Do you guys think she's part of the anti-suffrage movement, though? I want to see here. It says something about women's suffrage on her thing. But yeah, look at this. The governor of Michigan. Well, I'm trying to be nice, fair and balanced here. She's into cling wrap. It sounds like she's into lots of clingy different things. Sounds like she's into many things. Wait, here we go. Here's a good picture of her. There you go. I finally found one. See this? I finally found a good picture of her over on the right. There we go. I wanted to be fair. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. So I finally achieved it. This picture on the right with the purple rubber bands around it and stuff. That's probably the best picture that we're going to find. Yeah, X-Plan said, didn't think it could be done. Well, look, this is how I like to look at things. I'm always trying to ask Mateo, are you in the chat tonight? Mateo will tell you this. I'm always trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. And once in a while, somebody's like, 2-8 Edu, you're too mean. No, I'm actually too nice. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Me and this lady could never be friends, right? Like, sorry, we just can't be friends. But, well, hold on a minute. She might be part of the women's anti-suffrage movement. Wait, what's this? Hold on. I was just getting ready to stop sharing pictures of her. What did I spy down here? Wait, is this Julie Brixie? Which one is Julie? Wow. Jeez, Julie, that's kind of a representative Brixie. I just saw a picture. Wait, what's this? Ooh, look at her lapel pin. Wait a minute. Now, I do enjoy the story of God's rainbow from the Bible. Maybe that is where I recognized her. I might have met her at a Bible study with a Christian rainbow. Oh, no, never mind. It's not that kind of rainbow. Look, what's this? What's this? State lawmaker was told to remove pride flag from a top desk. She calls it discrimination. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was starting to think it was a pretty good look here with the mask. You know, that's nice. Good look for her. Oh, geez. She's mocking God's rainbow? Maybe we can't be friends, actually. Wow. Okay, hold on a minute. I didn't know she was into all of this. See, I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. When was this hanging? Oh, that's San Diego. I'm like, what? Man. Well, I tried. Everybody has to say that I was fair. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, find the most flattering picture ever, like right here. Like right there. This is Representative Julie Brixie of the state of Michigan, and apparently she likes to wrap stuff in plastic. Now, I'm going to try to type this in here. I'll probably get put on a blacklist. I'm going to try to type in Julie Brixie preferred pronoun. What's her preferred pronoun? Wait a minute. Meet MSU's LGBTXYZ ABCDEFG Resource Center Director? Why is that popping up under her? Oh. Well, what do you guys think of this whole thing? I think it's kind of funny in a way, but at the same time, I can't find her pronouns. I'm trying to be very politically correct here. Pronoun. Why won't she list her pronouns? Wait a minute. It says, after earning a master's degree, well, let's see if I can. I'm going to read you a little more bio. She has a master's degree. In crop and soil sciences with a specialization in environmental toxicology. I ran a mobile laboratory conducting investigations and cleanups of contaminated sites all over Michigan. One still stands out. Oh, geez. All right, that's kind of boring. Elected to the Meridian Township Board, served 2 decades in Meridian Township. But she doesn't list her pronouns anywhere. Oh, dude, check this out. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys one more thing. Let me share this screen real quick. Wait, Caesar, Colin L says. Yeah. Dude, I just found this. Some of these guys are like, what? I'm not watching any more of this. Hold on a minute. Right, Xanthi Misfit, asparagus. Yeah. I mean, that one, that said it was her, so when she identifies as asparagus, I like her a little more. Hold on a minute. Check this out. Dude, I didn't see this till just now. Do you guys see what this says? Wow. It says download. Look, I hope it's showing up on the screen. Right under her picture. Wow, I can't believe I ran across this. It says download the official portrait. Well, don't mind if I do. Oh, wow. Wow, geez. What a lovely looking lady there. I can see it now. She wants to Sorry, darling, I'm not interested. My wife's a lot hotter. Very happily married, along with Representative Maddock, said that he's happily married, but this one here, I don't know if she's married or not. I can't find any of this, guys. No clue. Now I can start to see the trad life Susie Homemaker in her. Can't you guys? Dude, that's the official portrait. This thing's like, dude, like I literally think like this is collectible. This is worth some money. All right. Wow. I don't know. Is somebody being sanctimonious here? Here's the thing, man. I don't know who you're teasing. I'm being serious. I'm literally trying to find good pictures, and I found the official portrait. I literally found the official portrait here. I mean, okay, don't mind real quick, guys. I'm going to download this because this is an official portrait. It's worth a lot of money. That's the official portrait. I didn't even know they had such a thing on here. Man, this whole internet thing, they say it'll never take off, but all right. Hairstyle by Tupperware. All right. No, I was trying to be nice, guys. Seriously, someone's like, "You're too nice. You're too mean." No, I don't know. I'm getting nausea. Let's talk. Well, for sure it's they, them. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea, really. Were the scissors sharp? Maybe, maybe not. So anyways, what do you all think? How many of you watched my video from yesterday, actually? Not a lot of people did, but maybe some of you all did. Seriously, though, this is how it goes. That video took me, like, longer to do than, like, 90% of my videos. And every time I spend a ton of time on a video and, like, go all the way to Lansing, it's got, like, 5 interviews in it, spends me tons of time. That's always, like, the lowest viewed video ever. It's like this weird phenomenon where, like, the more effort I put forth, well, that's the old saying, no good deed goes unpunished. But the more effort I put forth to report on something or include more content, it always gets, like, the least views possible. It's literally, like, ranked 10 out of my last 10, and the 9th lowest viewed out of my last 10 has double the views that one does. And it literally took me, like, well, all day to go up there and get the footage. And then something happened with the files, and it took me another, like, 4 hours to recover the files. And then, like, 4 more hours to edit all of that because my computer is pretty slow. But I started off it was kind of 2 things in once. If you guys watch the video, you know what I'm talking about. If not, then you don't. But I kind of thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to be part of the fake news ever or mainstream media. So that never, ever, ever crossed my mind. But it was also kind of a test because I'm like, dude, how come I don't see any YouTubers here or like people that are on X or any of these types of places? Like, how come none of them? I never just see, like, regular people getting media access to the House of Representatives or Senate. I'm like, I bet you they've got some kind of, like, good old boy club, like, keep out any real news. So that was part of my suspicion, and I wanted to prove if my theory was correct. Now, the other part of it is, well, I've spent tons of time doing it the old-fashioned way, just walking the halls of the House and Senate office building, calling people, talking to them, advocating. One person introduces you to the next, and before you know it, you know, like, half the Republicans that are in the Michigan State Legislature, maybe even more than that at this point. So I already knew a lot of people, but I'm like, but it would be kind of cool if, like, I could be in the media room, so that gets you, like, a little closer. So if there was a rep, like, you know, that wanted to do a quick interview, or I could maybe see things and, more unobstructed. And I'm like, well, maybe I could get a little extra content for the people. But keep in mind what I said earlier is this was all kind of a test too at the same time. And I was right and I was wrong. So first of all, I was right on the first part. Yeah, my suspicions were correct. It's a big club and you ain't in it, ladies and gentlemen. I ain't in it. None of us are in it. It's called the machine. And you can either be a cog in the wheel or you're not. So I was actually very correct on that. But I was wrong on the second half because I thought maybe there might be a little value somehow to the channel, which the channel means like to you all, for me to get official media credentials. And no, actually, now that I think about it and everything went full circle, no, I don't really think there's any value in that because I don't watch like the mainstream news at all. I don't get a newspaper. I don't use wires. Like, what do they mean wires? Like, nobody even has wires anymore. You know how old school that is to like wire over? One of my viewers made a joke in the comment section. He's like, you're still allowed to be media if you're the wire service, the FCC, the airwaves. He's like, man, they forgot to include the Pony Express, right? Like, we're talking like technologies that virtually don't even exist anymore. I'm being serious. Nobody like does their news like over the wire. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Now I'm old enough to remember when that stuff was phasing out. So I'm like, man, like who even watches most of that stuff, first of all? And second of all, I ended up getting, quite frankly, VIP access, inside access to the governor's State of the State address. And like none of the fake news was in the Senate leader, the Republican leader's office, but I was. And there was literally like representatives. You saw Representative Jennifer Wirtz literally travel across the building to come in and see me so she could talk to you all. You saw Senator Eric Nesbitt. That's the top, most powerful Republican senator in Lansing. And if you guys watch that video, if not, I think it was a good one. You should go back and watch it. He said, man, I like to just talk to people where they're at, is how he worded it. So at the end of the day, I think it was a unique social experiment. Because then after I was done being in like it's quite the office. It's quite the historic, beautiful building. Now there's lots of not so beautiful things that happen there. The Democrats are cramming gun control through in the middle of the night. But just the architecture of it, if you're into history and historical things, right, Jane? It's beautiful. And I was in the like I said, the top Senate Republican's office, where I had access to talk to actually like the coolest people by not being a member of the media. And I'm glad that Senator Eric Nesbitt saw that. And he's like, no, you know what? They're trying to lock certain people out of this. And then his staffer, Sam, who I've become good buddies with, really good dude. I actually met him a couple years ago because he was my favorite state representative, Jamie Thompson staffer. First, he was what's called her front desk. Then he got promoted to her back desk. And then he got promoted to work for the Senate Republican leader, the minority leader. So with all of that said, made friends with him, just hanging out with Jamie, going to her different events, fundraiser events, going into the office. The first time I met him was when I was her house floor guest for her first opening day when she was a freshman rep. Met Sam and Devin at the time, and they were both very nice, very accommodating. So yeah, man, I've known Sam a couple of years, and the senator said, you know what? There's some people they're locking out of this, some people that I do want to actually be able to have access. So I can't read his mind 100%, but obviously he was pretty forthright with that. So Sam gets a hold of me. He's like, the senator would like you as a special guest to cover the event with the accommodations of his office. Now, the press room is like this little cramped up thing, right? Technically, you get to go further than the public does, but you're in this little cramped up. Dude, I'm in this huge office with like 50-foot ceilings and, like. So I actually duly the senator kind of saying, you know what? They're locking regular people out. Let's let just like a regular dude in here that doesn't have like this big camera crew and it isn't part of, you know, the mainstream, the whatever it is. The legacy media is what I call it. See, a lot of people are still kind of stuck in the ways of saying that YouTube and X and all these other video sites on the internet, they like to say, well, that's the new media. It's like, no, actually, this is kind of the normal media now. And the other stuff like over the wire, you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff they talk about here. That's actually legacy media. Do you all agree? So I ended up getting like actually the best interviews and got to talk to the coolest people. I got to hang out with my representative, Jamie Thompson. Got to hang out with Senator Jim Runstead. I got to hang out with Representative Aragona. Probably saw about 20 different reps and senators and talked to them. Again, advocating for the Second Amendment the whole time that they just kind of passed through the Republican Senate leader, Nesbitt's office. In the hallways, I probably talked to another 40 or 50 reps. Like, I literally probably talked to more people that actually matter when it comes to passing these laws, or in this case, we need them to repeal these laws, than anybody by actually not being media at all. So, yeah, I thought maybe it would be an advantage to have a media credentials, and now I've realized I'm actually wrong, and there's no reason I would want those at all. Do you guys agree? Yeah, like the criteria that I failed to meet. Pursuant to Senate Rule 3901, a member of the media is defined as a person employed by or working as a newspaper, as defined by U.S. postal regulations. I didn't see Pohutsky this time. I'd like to be friends with her someday. I think we could be good friends, but, you know, I probably not, though, actually. But no, I did not see her this time. It was unfortunate. I didn't see her that time, but I did see her the time before that. A broadcast station licensed by the FCC or a network serving one or more licensed broadcast stations. Notice everything's licensed. A cable television station with a franchise granted by a Michigan unit of government. Talk about the fox guarding the hen house. So you have to be part of the government to report on the government? Just think about that for a second. Yeah, Robert Chase, if she can see the light, hey, I'd like to be her friend. Maybe we'll have her on here someday. Maybe one of my next streams, right, Mateo? We'll have Michigan Representative Lori Pohutsky on. I've been thinking about joining the anti-2A movement to try that out for a little bit. So maybe you guys will see her on here sooner than you think. A cable television with a franchise granted by a unit of Michigan government. So, wait a minute. The Senate police vet you to see whether you're media or not. And then you have to have, like, permission granted by the government. This is kind of weird. I'm actually glad I applied for this. And then D, a wire service. A wire service? That's where you're sitting there like, I mean, look, it's like pretty cool stuff back in the day. I admit, like wiring a telegram. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, that was state of the art in 100 and something years ago, 150 years ago. That was state of the art to wire a message to somebody. I'm just not much of a government man. I'm not getting a real ID. I don't want none of their licenses either. A wire service. A wire service. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, and then on the other end, that's like, wow. I don't care how old any of you are. Nobody's watching old enough to remember when that was actually like state-of-the-art technology. And then it says an independent contractor on assignment to report on state government news for an organization described above. So we're back for you have to be the government before you can report on the government. Excuse me. Like that literally makes no sense. That literally doesn't remind me of the First Amendment at all. Yeah, the old telegram service. No, look, I know some of you guys know what it is. That's not what I meant. But like nobody's alive today that remembers when that was state of the art. Now, here's the interesting part. It says, if you're looking to speak with a specific senator, we encourage reaching out to their office directly to set up an appointment. You know what? I've done that. I've done a very good job of that. And that's why I've had more access to any of these people than anyone could ever need to spread the message of the Second Amendment, to discuss strategy, like with Representative Maddock, very high ranking on the Appropriations Committee. This is a very important person to talk to when it comes to trying to defund. He can't do it by himself, though. He has a powerful position, but when it comes time to vote to get the bills out of the committee, he has one vote. So you all need to be encouraging your Michigan representatives and senators that budget better not be funding that tip hotline for the so-called storage within the home, and that it better not be funding any type of Capitol building gun ban or Anderson House or office building ban. Because I don't care if it's this unelected commission that's passing these rules that have full force and effective law. If they defund them and they can't afford the maintenance contracts on all of their software and all of their state-of-the-art, like nanny state technology, jackbooted thug nanny state technology, if you want my real opinion on it. And I could go further, but I want to keep this a family-friendly live stream. If they don't pass the funding, they don't pass the funding. See, here's the thing. The governor can veto a bill that comes out of the House. The Senate can refuse to take it up. However, if the House Republican majority stands strong and does not allow the funding to appear in their budget, that's the main power play move they have. And if you remember the video I did with Majority Floor Leader Posthumous, Brian, good guy, by the way. He said, look, guys, this is twice in a row. That's why I go back to some of these people again, just so we can see if they're being consistent. This is twice in a row. We're talking like what, the second most powerful, in my opinion. I think that's how that hierarchy works. Second most powerful representative in all of Michigan. We've been in his office twice. And I say we because if you watch the video I put out yesterday, we're talking to you guys, and we both make that clear. We have him on camera twice saying he wants to pass a bill to send a message and show them that they mean business. Very powerful person. Very pro-Second Amendment representative, by the way. Brian Posthumous, he's a farm boy. He owns a farm. Like, he's a pretty cool dude. And he's very pro-Second Amendment. Like, he's the kind of guy that you would actually probably want to hang out with. I rip on politicians a lot because a lot of them deserve it, but I've said very nice things about Representative Brixie today. Very nice things. But some of them are pretty cool, you know? And I want you guys to know that. Don't get like 100% black-pilled, even though actually being black-pilled is kind of cool too, though. I kind of want to become black-pilled myself, actually. Start hanging out with David Hogg, and I can be hanging out with Pohutsky and all the cool kids. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about it. We'll have to see. But no, you know what I mean, though. Lots of stuff to complain about, but some of these are all right dudes. You know what I mean? You got to get in there. And here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. We had Representative Jamie Thompson in our chat last week, last Friday. She was in the chat, and she was confirming everything I'm saying. A lot more people need to get out and call and write right now. Here's what happened. Everyone's so happy that Trump won, and I understand why you all are so happy about that. I'm not even debating that in a second. I mean, Kamala is president, you know? Now, some people aren't happy Trump won at all. Trust me. But a lot of people are, and they said, dude, Trump won. We're good. Our problems are over. And like, here's the thing. When there was the trifecta of Democrats, they had the House, they had the Senate, they had the governorship. People were calling a lot. The problem was none of those three chambers could do anything because they were all controlled by Democrats. Now that the Republicans control the House, they need calls. They need to be motivated. They need to know that the Second Amendment community is a priority. And look, don't believe me? Go read. Look, we have a sitting representative. In my opinion, the best in the whole state of Michigan was in my chat. So this is not me being hyperbolic. She said the same exact thing. And by the way, like, whose live stream has state representatives in their live? This one does, because we're actually getting their attention the most. But here's kind of a little bit of bad news for you all. And it'd be nice if you guys can all talk to your friends and family a little bit more about this. They live in Michigan. I know everyone doesn't, but just for a second here. We're not calling. Our guys and gals aren't calling enough, because I was with. They're calling, okay? They are calling, but not quite enough. I think we need to stay streamlined, and here's the message. We need to get Representative Jim DeSantis repeal red flag bills. Repeal red flag bills. DeSantis, right? I did a video with him. Go back and watch my channel if you need debriefed, right? But if you need briefed or debriefed, either or, if you need debriefed of this and brought back up to speed on that, that's how I meant to say it. Look, then, so DeSantis red flag bills. I think that's the main one. There's a whole bunch, but one at a time. That's just how it works, whether we like it or not. Somebody asked me, dude, what's the way to do a sweeping thing and get rid of all gun control? Yeah, that's not how it works, unfortunately. It should, because we literally live in a country that says shall not be infringed. And I think I did a good video with my buddy Steven Stambolier, attorney. We talked about that. And I do want to have him on again. So go back and watch that live stream as well. We talked about this topic a lot. But let's focus on these Michigan reps. I say the reps right now because the Senate is still controlled, okay, by Democrats. The House, though, is controlled by Republicans. So get DeSantis into committee, get it through committee, the repeal red flag bills, and get those onto the House floor for a vote. Repeal them in the House. Let people know there's a difference when it comes time to the next elections. And then when it comes to this budget, defund that tip hotline, right? The tip hotline where they can rat out their parents. Most of these reps' offices will know exactly what you're talking about. And defund anything to do with the Capitol ban. We need more people to call. I spend a lot of time behind the scenes. A lot of times I don't have a camera out or nothing like that. I'm just talking to these people, trying to come up with a plan. I talk to a lot of these rep staff. I talk to a lot of the reps themselves. And here's the deal, man. They were not calling enough anymore. You know, I'm just telling you guys the truth. And this is just the way it works, whether you like it or not. I actually can't even stand politics. So I'm in the or not category, actually. Dude, we should never have to call anybody or write anybody, because we live in a country where the Constitution, it says so itself, is the supreme law of the land, right? Yeah, and the second time it was amended, it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. That's beautiful. See, it tells you the why right there at the beginning. And then the what is the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I mean, if that's the supreme law of the land, which it supposedly is, we should never have to call. We should never have to write. Trust me, I'm in that camp more than anybody. But you guys know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get anybody in despair here. I'm trying to be very encouraging, right, James? We're being very encouraging right now. Y'all need to do what you can and get a hold of your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you think's pro Second Amendment, and tell them to get on the old wire. I mean, wire is still acceptable. If they're too lazy to call, if they're too lazy to write, if they're too lazy to go there face to face, maybe they can get out and clickety clack, you know, ding, 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 ding. I mean, maybe they can try the old wire service. Carrier pigeon. Look, I did confirm. It's confirmed. I'm being serious. Representative Jamie Thompson, we can speak for her because she was in the chat last week and she confirmed it. If you're into carrier pigeon, all right. If you're into carrier pigeon, then you could wrap up a little note, tie it off in a nice little pink bow and ribbon. I think she likes the color pink. Put it in there, put it in its beak, and it just flies up to her when she's walking from from the session, from the Capitol building to the House office building, and have that carrier pigeon just drop it off right at her feet. That actually works too. So just remind all of your friends of that. For the ones too lazy to call, write email, go to their office hours, go there in person, talk to them after session in the hallway. You can do carrier pigeon. And according to the Michigan Senate Police, you can use a wire service. Okay. Now, good luck finding a wire service, but you can wire it in. Wire it in on the old telegram lines. You know what I mean? I think Mateo knows all that stuff, actually. Don't underestimate him. I thought I heard something one day. I was sitting in my shop and I heard beep, beep, dee, 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 dee. And I'm like, whoa, is there some kind of code coming here? And then, like, before you know it, though, I heard a little tick, 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 tick. I'm like, what the heck is that packing out there? See, he did it as a diversion tactic. He acted like he was sending me a telegram. Okay, the old code. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know how to crack the code. I'm not an operator. But then it worked out because it was tick, 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 tick. I'm like, that sounds like a beak. And then someone looked up and said, did you say beak? So I went out there and opened the door, and it was just as it was flying away, there was a little note wrapped in a bow, and it was from Mateo. So if any of you guys need to learn either carrier pigeon or code over the wire, you know what I mean? Some of you guys have even served in the military over the wire. The old Morse code. All right, well. Yeah, so make sure some of you guys still know. That's good, though. That's good. No, don't worry about it, guys. One of these days here, you guys are going to see Lori Pohutsky on the stream. We'll be good friends one of these days. I'll be out there shooting trap with David Hogg. You know what I mean? It'll all be good. Somebody said, 2A EDU, you're too nice. You need to get more black pill. I'm like, oh, geez, I need to go join Mom's Demand Action. And I'm going to go join Mom's Demand Action and hang out with David Hogg. Ladies and gentlemen, on the live stream tonight, we have a very special guest, Lori Pohutsky. And next week, stay tuned for Julie Brixie. She's going to talk about how to knead dough and make homemade bread, wrap it in saran wrap. That's what I should do. With all these trad life pick-me-up girl, Michigan representatives, we should just abandon all of this and start a cooking show. Dude, I can't believe I didn't think of that. I guarantee you cooking shows, your videos actually get monetized too. Wow. See, guys, look, I purposely turn off the ads while the streams are live because I think that's kind of like a money, how do I say this very politely? A money hoe that makes it where you literally get ads popping up while it's live. But then I'll send it to YouTube for review for replay, and you may or may not see a few ads on replay. Dude, they've demonetized like the last 3 live streams. Now, I still get to keep the super chats, which I really appreciate, but they've demonetized the last 3 live streams, right? But if I had a cooking show, cooking with Brixie and Pohutsky, ooh, Pola Hanky. I bet you she has some good recipes as well. That's good. I want to thank Red, by the way. I don't know if you're watching tonight, man, but thank you for the Cash App last week. He sent me one in real time during the live stream. I would have loved to have thanked him properly in real time, but I didn't get the notification for it for afterwards. So if you are watching, I appreciate it, man. I have a couple super chats I'm going to read here. I have John Q. Public with a $10 super chat. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. He says, 250th anniversary of the Battle of Lexington and Concord is the 19th of April. Wow, 1775. So we're talking literally in a couple hours, 250 years. Wow, man. But Paul Revere probably said the Redcoats are coming. Yeah, because the colonial patriots would have been British as well. Yes, I agree, and I've said that many times. He didn't say the British are coming because he himself was actually legally a British subject. So absolutely correct. Wolf became a YouTube channel member. Well, thank you, Wolf. Wolf. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Well, yeah, no, Red's a good guy, man. I've known him for a long time, and yeah, he's good people. He's good people. Buy an abandoned house. What's up, YouTube Sparty? YT Sparty? I did cover your question. I saw it at the corner of my eye. I haven't had a chance to respond to all the comments earlier on. Why do I what benefits would there be for me getting one of those? Well, I covered it in the video yesterday, getting immediate credentials. At the beginning of the video, I was like, well, here's the reasons why I thought it might be beneficial. But then after how everything went down, I realized not beneficial at all. And I'm glad I don't have media credentials. And if you want to rewind, we did cover that probably 15 minutes ago tonight. But you reminded me of that. And maybe you popped into the live chat after I answered the very question that you had earlier. So, abandoned house. Okay. Yeah, I know the 2A stuff's getting pretty lame. Like, nobody's watching 2A stuff at all anymore for the most part. So, I should probably switch over to abandoned house. Yeah, actually, I am good at carpentry and remodel work. I'm pretty handy. So, I'll remodel the kitchen and have that be like the guy channel. And then once I get the kitchen remodeled first, right? Then I'll do, yeah, that's it, guys. This is awesome. You'll never see me again. No, yeah, you guys will. All of you guys watch the cooking channels and remodeling channels. So what we're going to do is I'm going to remodel the kitchen first. And then I'm going to start having lots of women on the channel. Because, well, the kitchen first. A woman's place is in the kitchen. And I'm literally going to start hanging around with all of the Michigan House and Senate Democrat women. Okay. You guys will see me. I'll have 3 different channels. The Repeal the 19th channel, because I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye that Brixie's part of that, but I'm not sure. I'd have to research further. So, in my opinion, she might be part of that. Not sure, though. Then the other channel will be Cooking with the Representative, and we'll have Pohutsky in there. She'll be showing us her chicken and dumplings recipe. And then Representative Brixie will come in with her saran wrap, and here's how you wrap the leftovers. She's very good at wrapping things in plastic. Meanwhile, it'll take the heat off of Representative Maddock. He doesn't have to worry about like fetishes or kinks or any of this stuff that it appears he's worried about. So take the heat off of him. He can enjoy his life and have more time to defund gun control. See where I'm heading with all this? Pohutsky. I bet you she makes some good pierogies. So pierogies with Pohutsky. Pola Hanky. Wow. Actually, she probably makes some mean pierogies too. Now, so we'll have a cook-off. Pohutsky versus Pola Hanky. I'll be the judge. Yeah, this will be perfect. Thank you for giving me ideas, guys. Wow, this chat's very smart. You guys have literally, just from reading the chat here. Yeah, the Poochkis. Yeah, exactly. Yep. You know these women are trying to be the next trad wife. You can just tell they want to be. What's up, G23? What do you think, man? Dude, this would be a hit. Yeah. I can do like the... Yeah, I'm just going to keep thinking about this. I'm not going to give you guys all my secrets, or one of you. I'll steal the channel idea. Yeah, this is fixing to be a cooking and remodeling channel. This will be nice. I'll still keep a little gun stuff going when I'm out there shooting trap and shooting skeet with David Hogg. You guys saw that, right? He joined the school trap team or whatever. Yeah. Pohutsky's pierogies. See, I never thought after all this time, but I think we could be friends. Yeah, at the end of the day, we play the old-fashioned cooking game. I mean, it's kind of as old as it gets, the old hide the salami game. You know what I mean? Not with me. I'll be the cameraman. The contestants will play it together, is what I'm trying to get at. What's up, JJ Rainey? How you doing, man? How you doing, Harry? What's up? Do you guys have any questions? I did get 5 super chats, so I will answer some questions right now. If there's anybody that had one earlier that I missed or would like to ask one now, go ahead. Guns, ammo, cooking, Second Amendment. What else? Saran wrap advice, anything like that. John Q. Public with another super chat. Well, thank you. He says 27 words in the 2A or Michigan Constitution. Article 1, Clause 6. Where is it stated about a NICS check, a permit, a license, or manner of concealed or open carry? I know. Michigan Article 1, Section 6. Every person has the right to keep and bear arms in the defense of himself and the state. It doesn't say with a permit. Yeah, but like the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution says freedom of the press, but then it turns into like freedom of the press as long as you're part of like the old wire service. You're a cable franchisee of a Michigan unit of government, or you're licensed by the federal government. No, I'm not even joking. Like every single thing on here to be media, you have to first ask the government's permission. I mean, serious. U.S. postal regulations, every single darn criteria is where you have to beg one entity of the government or pay them or pass a test or whatever it comes down to. Probably even do worse things than that in many cases, but I wouldn't know because I'm not part of this. But you have to do something with the government to then get the government's permission to do something. So I need the government's permission to then get the government's permission. Yeah, that sounds like freedom of the press. Nobody left me a comment on the last video that seemed as shocked as I was, though, and I emphasized it like 3 times in that video. The Senate police? When and how and what in this world would the police have to do with whether you're considered media or not? Like, look, like I don't even see how those professions are like even loosely related. First of all, in my opinion, this is all BS. But I'm good with it because I don't want it anyways. It was kind of a social experiment too, and I got my answer. So you have to ask the government's permission by getting one of these to then ask the government's permission again. So I don't agree with any of this, but to argue in the contrary, assuming I did, wouldn't it be like you have to be interviewed by like the house photographer or someone that like is at least remotely in that profession? Elderberry juice with 2A EDU from pure elderberry concentrate, by the way. That'll be part of the cooking show. But no, seriously, what's a cop have to do with knowing whether you're media or not? Excuse me? I just can't find any link on what that profession would have expertise in the media. Let's see if we have some questions. Well, yeah, actually. No, you got it, man. The Senate police come and tackle you when you ask a question. Well, that's probably why. Mr. Rogers Cooking Podcast. What's up, Lyle? Yeah, I was thinking like pierogies with Pohutsky or something, you know? If she wanted to come on the show, that is. If I start the show, they'll be cordially invited. They might say no. Who knows? Yeah. The founding of the press actually was referring to the printing press. Well, yeah, but it's clearly not limited to that, right? Because if that's true, then we would have no speech at all. And if that's true, then like we don't write with a quill pen anymore. And then if that's what it was, some people do make that argument, though, that it's only a musket. It's only a brown bass. Anything newer than that's not covered. And yes, I definitely knew that freedom of the press came from the press. All right. Do you guys have any questions here? I will answer them. Somebody asked me a couple questions earlier. I thought I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Trump kicked the AP out of the White House press. Sure. And I can't say I was kicked out. I was just never allowed in the press. And I still had like more and better access than they did, though. That's kind of a pretty cool senator, though. That's like, yeah, you know what? For the people they won't let in, come on, you'll be my special guest. I thought it was kind of nice. And he seems like a great guy. I don't know him super, super well. Next time I'm in Lansing, I'd like to talk to him for a minute. These people are really busy, though. But I'd like to talk to Eric Nesbitt again. He was a nice guy. Jane, I've been trying. I went into the office of one that was going to talk. I left my phone number. Never called me. They don't call. They don't write. I mean, I've tried. But somebody said, yeah, you need to become more black-pilled. Well, I guess I'll do the cooking show then. Yeah, I agree, Richard Denny. Government is never the answer to freedom. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Let's see here. JJ is saying, do you need a cameraman when you go to Lansing? Let me know. I have time nowadays. All right, well, I'll let you know, man. Sometimes it's like last minute too, but we'll have to figure out. I'm trying to remember where you live too. How far you are. For some people, it's a pretty far drive. It's a decent drive from my shop, but nothing too crazy. I mean, I drove a couple hours yesterday and had a good time in Branch County. Anybody from Branch County? JJ says, are you looking forward to any new guns this year? Maybe. I'm not sure, though. I want to show you that item I reviewed last Monday live. I put that on something that I'm liking. I kind of always want more milsurps, though, like old guns. That's kind of what I usually want. DC, I am going to do a video filling people in on an update on Senate Bill 111. I did talk about it last night when I did my little speech or talk or whatever you want to call it. Do I think it will pass the House? Here's the interesting part about it. See, it was brought up in last session too, the same subject matter. There were a decent amount of Republican senators, okay? There were a decent amount of Republican senators that actually voted yes for it last time around. This time around, it was a party line vote. 19 Democrats voting, with the majority voting. The bill did pass the Senate. It has passed the Senate. But it was on party lines. Every Republican voted no this time. And I think that is because we had some good testimony at the committee hearing, all right? And also because people were really calling on it. Look, I'll give you guys a little inside story because trust me, like I said, I go there for all of us, for the Second Amendment period, in the state of Michigan and in the whole country. Don't forget that, because I'm trying to remind you guys, even if you don't live in Michigan, I'm trying to offer you a blueprint for what you can do in your state. There's nothing special about it. It's just hard work, right? Like you just have to keep going and going and going. Whether you can or whether you can't, the answer is actually yes. It just depends on what you're going to do, right? Yes, you can, or yes, you can't. So I'm trying to offer all of you some motivation, inspiration. So I was hanging out with Nicole last night. She's a real person, a very nice lady. She is an aide staff for Michigan Representative Jennifer Wirtz. I asked her, I said, are people calling? She said, yeah, they are. What about? She said a few things. She said they are calling about the Senate Bill 111. So there you go. Talked to a lot of reps though, and I'm like, are they calling? And they're like, yeah, a little bit, but not enough, not much. Because there's some reps that are just rearing to go to repeal gun control right now. There's other ones that are going to need to be kind of drug along. Just a real gentle, like dragging by the ear, you know. We're not going to saran wrap people. That's what Democrat reps do. But you know what I mean. Just very gently, you know, just come on. We're trying to. I think it'll pass the House. I hope not. Keep calling. Keep calling. I have on good accord, like I go right to the source. Some people are calling about it. But I got to be honest with you, DC, and with everybody. They ain't calling quite enough, though. You want the truth? That's it. I'd like to say there's no way in heck it's going to pass the House. But we've had Michigan House Republicans just in the last session. He's now the Speaker of the House is one of them. Voted for gun control before. Now, they all voted no against red flag, though. Okay. And Senate Bill 111 is a very draconian red flag bill, like crazy. Dude, I'd like to tell you there's no way, but I can't quite say that yet. I'm hearing from many people, like right from the sources, there really isn't that many people calling right now. There are, but not really enough. Is that 30 minutes? Nice. Okay, good. I knew you were somewhere around here. Ooh, Lyle Smith has a brown bus. Nice. If I have a brown bus and blew it, is it still legal? Well, I don't know. I can't give legal advice, but I don't see why that would change anything. I don't think that would change its classification in a million years. YT Sparty says, do you drop that you have 76,000 viewers when you're asking to talk to them? Right now I have 56 viewers. But the subscribers you're saying, right? No, not really. I kind of just go in there and talk, and word gets around in a small town. A lot of times it's from representatives introducing me to other ones, right? Like new people come in. But look, man, you get involved, you just kind of know people. Like I've known Representative Riley Linting. She's the new rep that took over, that defeated Jamie Churches. That was a huge, huge upset. That was a huge shift. One of the main reasons that the Republicans took control of the House. I met Riley, a couple years back at a Jamie Thompson fundraiser event when she was the Michigan Youth GOP vice chair, I believe was what she was. She was one of the top people in the Michigan Youth. She's like an extremely young representative even today, but she was a few years younger then. And I met her when she was, I don't know if she was in high school or college at the time or what, but young lady, very nice, by the way, very pro Second Amendment. So I met her then, and then I saw her again at a Lincoln Day dinner, the one that I went to that Riley Gaines was at. And we talked again and remembered each other, you know. So that's how you just develop relationships with these people. And if you guys go back and look at my timeline on my YouTube community posts, I know it's like, why would you want to? But you have to scroll for like an hour. And you'll see a picture of me with this person 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Then fast forward 2 years later, now they're a state rep. So I don't know, man. I've just been active and been around the scene a lot, and that's how I meet people. But to answer your question, I don't just walk up and say, I have this many subscribers, I'd like to, do an interview. No, I've never done that. SB 111 was voted on in the Senate 2-3 days ago now, and it did pass the Senate. Look, I'm not trying to fearmonger anyone. I'm not telling you it's going to pass the House. I didn't say that. I can't give you the heck no matter what no. Right? Sometimes people want a certain answer. Sometimes they don't. But I like to just tell you guys the truth. TJP says, you're the man. Walked in there like a boss. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I do kind of walk around with a little bit of a strut to me. A little bit. Right, Jane? I snuck up on Jane one time at the Capitol. She turned around and was like, I said, well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, Jane. She's like, you snuck up on me. I'm like, well, I actually did. Like, I was behind her, and I'm like, I get like 2 feet from her, right behind her. I'm like, hey, because I was excited to tell her something. She's like, what? It's true. I want everybody to call Sarah Leitner, who is the chairman of the Judiciary Committee in the House, the one that could get some movement going, hopefully, on Representative Jim DeSana's bills. Yeah, I'll get something quick out like that. I've talked about it a lot, but yes. All right, let me just breeze through and see if there's any more questions. What's up, Vince? How you doing, man? He says, I'm in New Mexico, another beautiful state, which is unfortunately run by anti-gun extremists. I learned so much from this channel. Well, thank you. And I look, that's why when I say that, because some people, that maybe are a little more shallower than others, but like, dude, I don't want to hear about this Michigan stuff. Look, everything I'm telling you guys is all very valuable information. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that way. I think it is. And Harry's saying, me too. Okay, cool. Yeah, they won't do that MTC. I talked about that last night too, to the people in Branch County. Jonathan Lindsay, he's the senator for Branch County. Senators have a much bigger area, keep in mind, than reps, because there's a lot more reps than there are senators at a rate of about 3-1. But yeah, I was in Jonathan Lindsay's district. I know of a fundraiser event for this lady that's going to be running against, I don't know her yet, I'm not mad at her, but she's going to be running against Reggie Miller. What's up with all these Democrats? Reggie Miller. Her name is Reggie Miller. Okay, so that's a chick named Reggie. Reginald Miller is what I assume it's short for. Reginald Miller, her, she, it. I have no idea about these people anymore. Trust me. I'm trying to be very politically correct. She is her, it, that, her, she. We're going to have to do this cooking show. I wonder if they'll come on. But there's going to be this huge like fundraiser that's going to be in Dundee, Michigan. I want to go to. I'm trying to talk my wife into going too. Any of you guys near Dundee, Michigan? If you guys want to go there, there's going to be like 6 reps. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here, I'll give you guys some grassroots stuff right now before we jump off. Maybe Reginald, though. I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to tell. We tried to figure out Representative Brixie's pronouns for a long time. Mateo, do you know the pronoun? I mean, I was trying to be so... Dude, it took me so long. I was trying to find the most flattering picture of her I could possibly find. And let me see if I can find something for y'all. All right, where's my buddy Jay Heinzerling? Oh, by the way, I don't just talk to people in Lansing. This is my county commissioner here that sent me a text message about a little event I'm going to go to. I think I'm going to go to this. My county commissioner. I saw County Commissioner Don Asper at the orthodontist the other day. Okay, Zer. There we go. I mean, I tried. She'd look good in the kitchen, though, with that saran wrap. She'd make a nice house mouse yet for somebody. All right, so this is from my county commissioner sent me this. He said, man, I'd like you to meet Laura Perry. I don't know her. I said, look, he said, you should have her on your podcast. I said, well, I'm going to talk to her first and see how she is for the 2A. And depending on how she is for the 2A, then I'll decide whether I like her or not. And if I like her, I'll have her on. If I don't like her, well, then she can come on the cooking show. The cooking show is the ones where we'll have the ones that we don't like. You know what I mean? Yeah, and all of that. You're right, X-Plans. All that happened was disparaging that poor asparagus. I thought that was a good picture of her, though. I mean, the asparagus, I thought that was a good picture, man. I tried to be nice. It has a very German feel. These are, ooh, interesting. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. 999. Wow. Okay. What's cooking, man? Yeah, we're going to have a cooking show. You know what's happening, man. You know what's cooking. Here, I'll show you guys how I scout some of this stuff out. If any of you guys want to come hang out at this, I'll let you know for sure. If anyone's going, maybe that'll twist my arm enough. Here, let me show you this event. Private invitation. Oh, this is a private invitation. Well, I'm making it public. Laura Perry. Haven't met her yet, but she is the main candidate, it looks like, that's going to be running against a very vulnerable Democrat district. Right now, a lady named Reggie Miller. I'm going to assume that's short for Reginald. Reginald Miller. Probably. I don't know. Who knows? But Democrat, they think this is a seat they can flip. So May 31st, this is at the old mill in Dundee, Michigan. My wife told me it's like totally haunted. She says this is like the most haunted place, like one of the most haunted places in the whole country. Some of you might know about that. It says, hear from Laura and local leaders on how principled leadership in District 31 is going to make a stronger, more competitive Michigan. Now, look, I ain't endorsing her. I haven't even talked to her, but this is kind of how it starts. I'm giving you guys a little bit of behind the scenes, right? So Saturday at 5 p.m., May 31st. Probably should be cutting grass at the time, but I'm probably going to try to weasel out maybe a little bit and lose money to try to. But this is how you meet people and you find out what's what. Senator Jonathan Lindsay's going to be there. Dude, there's like a lot of reps and senators going to be there. Jonathan Lindsay, who I know. Joe Bellino, who's my good friend. That's my senator. He used to be my representative before Jamie. Joe's a good friend of mine. Very pro Second Amendment. So you got two senators. Representative Jim DeSena, okay, the one that has introduced the red flag repeal. He's been on the channel. Joe's been on my channel. So you guys should recognize some of them if you've been watching my videos, right? Dale Benecki, Monroe County Commissioner candidate. Will Brook, who I also know. 30th District. He's the district just over south of me a little bit. And then my representative and my favorite representative, Jamie Thompson. So you go to an event like this, I can introduce you guys to, I think I know Dale. I know I'm looking at his picture, but I think I've met him, but I don't know him real well. But I can introduce you to the other 5 of them if you guys want to like meet a representative or senator and ask them about the Second Amendment, encourage them, talk to them. What does this cost? Let's see, Fuel the Future, okay. Live music, cash bars, silent auction, hors d'oeuvres. All right, general admission, $20. Family pass, $50. 2 adults, plus unlimited children under 18. So $50 for me, my wife, and daughter. I mean, hey. This might be something I'm going to. Let me know if any of you want to go. That might, like I said, help persuade me a little bit. I probably can't afford the VIP. But look, there's people with a lot of money that really want to support these causes. That's why they always have different options, where it'll be like $20, $50 for the family, VIP $100. You want to sponsor a whole table, $500. Food and bar sponsor $1,000. And most people are like, what, $1,000? Oh, there's people out there that do have that money. Trust me. As soon as you get out of the gun community, a lot of people actually have money, believe it or not. House Mouse, yeah. Were you watching, Mateo? I know you joined us a little bit midstream tonight. When I said I'm going to start the two-way EDU cooking show, start rolling in some money, you know? No demonetizing. No demonetizing. Dundee is on the Michigan-Ohio border. I wouldn't say it's quite on the border, but yeah, it might not be. It might not be in a lot of your neighborhoods. Jane said, I might go if you twist my arm. Let me talk to Linda tomorrow and see if we could all hang out. All right. You guys have any last minute questions? I'm going to jump off here. Wait, Dale says he's a close friend of my cousin. I met him at a wedding. Lots of political chat. Well, all right, cool. John Q. Public says, okay, maybe it's just me, but all this tech stuff and campaigning for public office is kind of antisocial in a way. Well, sure, that's the flyer. That's the way I can show it to you guys, but it's kind of the good old-fashioned way. My county commissioner, right, who's also my friend, he texted it to me. I'd print this off and hand it to you guys, but I can't. But I know what you're saying. I'm old school myself. But no, I'm saying like I might like go here. Like if I physically go to this event, I'll get to talk about the Second Amendment with 5 people in Lansing, 1 person on the county level, and then meet her. That would be the goal. Try to meet her. She's gonna be the belle of the ball, as the saying goes. Everyone wants to talk to the person who the event's for, so I'm not going to probably do like a long interview with her, but trust me, I know how to feel these people out pretty quick. I bet you guys $1. Even without the VIP ticket, I'll be able to have a little one-on-one conversation with her. Just enough to see if I think she's good for the 2A or not. Then if I think there's a chance she is, we'll exchange numbers. I'll get a hold of her. We'll talk. And then if I think she's a good one, I'll bring her on and we can talk about the Second Amendment with her. I mean, that's basically kind of sort of how it works. But even though I have no media credentials, I bet you $1 if I go to this, I'll be able to have a conversation with her enough to be able to figure out a little bit. Because I've talked to a lot of these candidates, and it's kind of like, yeah. Oh, Mateo's making a roast right now. Okay. Roast with Reggie. I'll have to have Representative Reggie Miller on before she loses to Laura. Before she loses that seat, we'll have to do roast cooking with Reggie. We'll have Reggie Miller on. I mean, I'll invite to have her on. I'm not sure if any of these people, all these people I said I'm going to have on the cooking show, what I mean is they'll be cordially invited. They might, All right. Lyle Smith says, before you interview a rep for your channel, do you take them to the range to confirm their 2A views? The range, well, I've had my representative on the range, and that's literally on the channel. No, not to the range, but I don't think I need to take them to the range, really, because there's a lot of people who shoot all kinds of guns, and they're kind of like whatever on the 2A. No, I don't know how to word it. I just kind of know how to suss it out a little bit, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. Bill Alexander says, great chat and stream. Happy Easter. And have a great week. Yeah, happy Easter, everybody. I hope you have a good one. Good Friday. Good Friday. Jesus hung on the cross, and 3 days later arose from the dead. I do like Easter. I do. He is risen, and I know he's coming back. Cooking with 2A. It's a good thing, LOL. See? Well, to get those on the channel, I'll have to probably call it like cooking with anti-2A or, I had a lot of viewers are like, dude, you need to go more black pill. I'm like, well, maybe I do need to start that cooking channel. But you guys know how it goes on the internet. 2A EDU, you were too nice. Then 5 minutes, I'm like, well, dude, I'm nice. I can't help it. And then 2 minutes later, 2A EDU, you were mean. You weren't nice enough. And I'm like, whoa. I was too nice. I wasn't nice enough. And then someone's like, 2A EDU, you need to become black pilled. I'm like, actually, I can see that a little bit. Might be nice. Vince, you're welcome. Thank you. He says another entertaining and educational session. Well, yeah, it might be different than most of my streams, but I was like, yeah. It's a great Friday. What's happening, John Crump News? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thing is, I already leaked all the news tonight, man. If you're watching earlier, you know, but you'll have to rewind. I literally showed the footage, the Saran wrap. So if that's what you're talking about, because I believe this is the biggest news right now, both nationally and in Michigan. Sorry, good buddy, but I already scooped you on it. Oh, guys, I seriously found out about the... How did we word this in the title? 2A rep versus Trad Life pick-me-up girl rep. When she was wrapping his car up, I had the inside scoop on it very, very quickly. Like, probably faster than anybody. Yeah, Jane, I hear you. I hear you. It's just kind of like... It's kind of like what they say, which it is what they say, but it's the vibe. You guys know what I mean, right? When you talk, but you got to watch yourself around people that are running for political office. That's all good, though. I was born at night, but not last night. Lone Wolf says I'm just old. Well, that's all good, man. It's all good. At least you're cool, right? Oh, I know, dude. The topic's so fragile. You have to be careful what you say to anybody. Well, that's why I'm being so nice tonight. I'm like, these lovely state reps, maybe they'd like to come on the cooking show. I mean, maybe. Maybe we can be friends. Probably not. Was I politically correct enough tonight? I do need to know that before I sign off. And I hope to see all of you guys over on my censorship-free live stream that I'll be doing. I think I'll do one tomorrow night. I usually do them every Saturday. Vince Metzger came in with a 762 super chat. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And for me, it's 762 by 39, right? He says, cheers. Well, thank you, Vince. I appreciate it. Yeah, someone would have to be like super rich to leave a 762 by 39 super chat. How much money would that be? 76239. They don't let you put cents in the super chat. So it would have to be 6, 2, 3, 9. Wow. Yeah, that'd have to be like $76,000. So since I don't think any of my viewers have $76,000 of super chat, you can't put the rest. So I always assume when I get a 762 super chat that it's 762 by 39. And that's probably totally my bias. But I'm going to be biased. Oh, did the O site come in, Robert? Awesome, man. I sent you that tracking number that the lady from O site sent me, but I had not looked it up to see. So you got your new O site. Awesome, man. Yeah, I gave one away, guys, on that stream that I did Monday. That was no BS, and he got it very soon. Yeah, Vince said it's X39. I knew the whole time. Good night, Aimless Mouse. Happy Easter. Yeah, man. Happy Easter, everybody. Oh, you could leave 762.39. Oh, you can leave change like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because he just left $7.62. I just didn't know, like, if you got to the hundreds, if you could still also leave change. Okay. Yeah, I kind of said that backwards earlier. It's like, dude, of course you can leave change. Vince just left change. I was thinking different in my mind. I was thinking like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? You can do it. Okay, so it'd be $762.39, which nobody has money for that either. So I still get to imply that it's X39. I didn't know that, Jane. It will let you fill the digits all the way out that far. Okay. Yeah, I know I sounded like a moron. I'm like, I don't think you can put change in there. Well, no, of course you can. I just meant like if you had three, you know what I mean? I didn't think there was 5 digits worth. That's what I'm trying to say. Wait a minute. What's this? Come on, everybody root for Vince. He might not even play, but let's root that he wins the lotto tonight. Vince is going to win the lotto tonight. He'll come in with a $762.39 super chat. That'll help fund a good amount of trips to Lansing. And our boy will have some money, so we're going to make it a win-win. I don't play the lotto either. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. They say you can't win if you don't play. That is true. Hold on a minute. Axe plants, shh. We're whale fishing. Ooh. Yeah. I could start one of those primitive fishing channels. Anyone ever watch the primitive fishing live streams? They used to be big at one time. Yeah, dude, I could do, oh my gosh, I'm going to have so many channels. I'm going to have the primitive fishing channel, the whale fishing channel, cooking with the Trad Life Pick Me Up Girl Reps channel. This will be good. But in the meantime, all of you have a very awesome and blessed Easter, and I will see you all again soon. All right. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. We could all share recipes. I agree, Lone Wolf. That's why I was laughing while I was trying to say goodbye, because you guys are still saying funny stuff.